On this Civic 1.5 Turbo, P2652 is pointing at the VTEC rocker arm oil pressure system. In plain terms, the PCM is seeing the rocker arm oil pressure sensor stay high when the rocker arm oil control solenoid is commanded off. The driver may notice a warning light, and depending on the failure, the engine may feel normal or may have VTEC-related performance changes. The broad possible areas are oil level, the oil pressure signal side, the rocker arm oil pressure sensor circuit area, and the rocker arm oil control valve side of the system. Start with the basic system checks and follow a structured diagnostic approach before getting into this specific code path. Before chasing P2652 by itself, look for any related VTEC system codes. If other VTEC system codes are present, check what they mean first and address those before continuing. That keeps you from testing this code, while another VTEC fault is already steering the system in the wrong direction. Next, check the engine oil level. This code path depends on oil pressure behavior, so the oil level has to be right before the pressure side of the diagnosis means anything. After that, start the engine and warm it up by holding engine speed at 3,000 RPM with no load, with the CVT in P or N, or the manual transmission in neutral, until the radiator fan comes on. Then let the engine idle. With the engine warmed and idling, run the HDS VTEC test. Use the PGM5 function test path for the VTEC test, and use the PGM5 data list as needed to watch the VTEC solenoid valve signal. The important logic here is whether the pressure reading matches what the system is commanding. For the rocker arm oil pressure sensor inspection, make sure the engine oil is at the specified level before setting up the pressure test. Turn the vehicle to OFF. Disconnect the rocker arm oil pressure sensor 3P connector, remove the sensor from the rocker arm oil control valve, and install the oil pressure hose, adapters, test hose, and low pressure gauge setup. Then install the rocker arm oil pressure sensor onto the gauge adapter using the specified torque, and reconnect the 3P connector. Do not improvise the adapter layout or the torque information. If that setup detail is not available at the vehicle, pause and get the correct setup before continuing. Now perform the confirmation procedure with the pressure gauge setup installed. The normal condition is oil pressure less than 49 kPa 0. 50 kgf/cm2, 7, 1 psi, while the VTEC solenoid valve status on the HDS display is OFF. If the pressure is normal during that condition, the diagnostic path points to a problem with the rocker arm oil pressure sensor. If the pressure is not normal, the path moves away from the sensor and toward other related components in the oil control side of the system. For the rocker arm oil control valve inspection, use it as the remaining conclusion only after the other inspection items have shown normal. In other words, do not jump straight to the valve. Prove the oil level and pressure check first, use the HDS command and data to keep the test aligned, and then let the remaining result point you to the rocker arm oil control valve side. Keep verification separate from the component checks. After the fault area is corrected, go back through the same operating setup and confirmation logic so you know the pressure behavior and VTEC command state agree. The takeaway on P2652 is simple. The PCM thinks rocker arm oil pressure is still high when the VTEC oil control command is off, so verify oil level first. Use the HDS VTEC test. Then prove whether the pressure reading is normal before blaming the remaining control hardware. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.